Hi, I'm Quinn Paglarani, lead facilitator and executive coach with Crestcom Southern California. As CEO, what is the most important thing you are ultimately responsible for that delivers the highest long-term value? I'll tell you, it's culture. Does your organization exhibit the culture you envisioned? A culture that excites you and makes you proud to be associated with it. Here's a quick way to figure that out. Think back to the last team meeting you attended, whether it was between the leadership or the entire company. Can you see who's there, where each person is sitting, and how it feels? Do you have that meeting in mind? Now, as an observer, ask yourself, are people intently listening to each other? Are they genuinely valuing what each team member is contributing? When people speak, are they responding with thoughtful consideration and empathy, or reacting with emotion? Is it evident that people are basing their actions on the mission, vision, values, business drivers of the organization? Or does it seem like they may not know what those are? Can you look around the room in your mind's eye and see that everyone has a voice and contributes? Or do some people talk over others just to be heard? Now think back to after that meeting. Was it clear everyone was committed to what was agreed upon or resolved? What about a few weeks later? Was everyone on the team delivering the results you hoped for? Can you confidently say you're happy with these answers to these questions? Or as you look back, does it feel like everyone was coming from different places, different cultures, or not speaking the same language? If so, you're not alone. For most leaders, this exercise can reveal some areas that need improvement. And while many of us may not want to admit it, the person responsible for this is you, or me, the CEO, the president, or whoever has the buck stops here title. But it's okay. Most other business leaders experience this too. You may have already identified some of these problems and tried to address them, but no one takes action. After all, you want to build something of increasing and lasting value. You may have taken a leadership retreat or hired a VP of corporate culture, but you still don't see the change. Or you may have even signed up for leadership training yourself, or signed up a few of your managers, but still feel like you can't let go of full control because you can't trust everyone. Have any of these things fixed the problem? I bet they haven't. Why not? Because the solutions need to become part of your culture. But what really is culture? Culture is the environment within a business that focuses on the support, behaviors, and values you create for your employees and customers. Good company culture makes a huge difference in how comfortable employees will feel addressing conflict, having transparent conversations, and sticking around for the long haul, and being able to understand how humans work, what they need, and how to deliver on that separates the best from the rest. Luckily, culture can be learned and developed. And if it's learned, it needs to be unlearned or relearned to achieve a different culture. So if you're hoping for a quick fix, it's time to shift your perspective. Think about it. How long has the business been in existence? How long have some of the individuals on your team been on your team? The culture of the company, that is, what we do and how we behave has been developed over time. It's been said, people do not just quit companies or leaders, they quit organizational cultures. So the challenge of developing a culture that you're proud of, a culture that is a place where people stay and thrive, is that there is no quick fix. If the culture has been developed over time, it needs to be redeveloped over time. What is your responsibility in all of this? For better or worse, culture and leadership are inextricably linked. Founders and influential leaders often set new cultures in motion and imprint values and assumptions that persist for decades. But over time, an organization's leaders can also shape culture through both conscious and unconscious actions. The best leaders can sense when change is required and influence the process. Unfortunately, in our experience, it's far more common for leaders to build high-performing organizations to be confounded by culture and let it go unmanaged or become a secondary concern. But culture is critical for company success. As Peter Drucker says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. If you don't have a common culture, your plans will go off the rails. Now, there's a fundamental difference between a long view-minded leader and a short view-minded leader. A leader with a long-term view will make decisions with their team and consider the impact their company has on their employees, community, economy, and even the outside world. They look at long-term strategies to set goals that work towards long-term success. On the other hand, a short-term minded leader makes self-made decisions that will mostly impact themselves or the company. They set goals that are aimed for short-term wins that might affect their company now, Choosing to lead with a long-term mindset is like deciding to get into better shape. Consistency beats intensity. If we decide to focus on our health, we need to make certain long-term lifestyle changes, such as prioritizing diet, sleep, and exercise. A successful business is one where a succession of leaders stay long view-minded, building something sustainable that will contribute to the welfare of its staff and customers and benefit future generations. Think back for a second on the culture you saw in your mind's eye when you recounted your last meeting. Instead of what you saw, do you desire a culture of accountability and trust? A culture of commitment and engagement, efficiency and collaboration, continuous improvement, effective communication, performance, and most importantly, results. A culture with a shared mission, vision, and values. You get the picture. If this is what you want, what you desire, what brings value to your company, team, clients, and shareholders, it's ultimately the leader's responsibility. How do you do it? First, get your team to speak the same language. I used to think leadership training was about individual training, but it's not. It's about developing individuals across an organization to speak the same language, share the same vision, mission, values, and practices. That is what affects company culture. That is what Crestcom does. A culture is the thing that attracts people, keeps people, motivates people, and ultimately produces results. If you want to be the long-term minded leader and impact the culture of your organization, we can help. We help businesses achieve sustained behavior change in their organizations that drive results. Sign up below for more information about how our BPM program can shift your company's culture for good.